Welcome, everyone, to the very first edition of the Voices of the Voices podcast, the post Lawler and Lita era. We're very excited to be here, everybody, and all, as well as you, together in one unified being that doesn't slur words and make total sense and at the same time stutter whenever their producer's talking in their ear. But we're going to persist on, as we always do, with open arms and open legs like Lita. Well, maybe Jerry, but normally he's alone when that happens. Or like Mick Jagger with somebody 50 years younger than him. So it's all going to be dandy and grand. So, Brad, how are you? What an intro. I made that up all on the spot. I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of you, too. I'm good. It's a cold weekend here in North Carolina.
Joe, what is it, 65? You pansy.
No, it's actually been a little cooler. It's 38 degrees as we record this at about noon on Saturday. The very late edition of the Voices of the Voices. The better late than never edition of the podcast.
That's true. It's better late than never. Absolutely. As long as it happens, and Derek Abbott, you can suck a dick, okay? Like, really, it's gonna be fine. I hope he doesn't take that up to offense. Because I've said a lot worse to a lot of different people. But it's, you know, he's our favorite fan. There's not even a question. It's 27 here in Pittsburgh, and it feels like it's 15. But the reason it's late is because life gets in the way sometimes. Just ask the Macho Man.
In his case, death got in the way.
Well, you know what? If it was just like a standard accident, there'd be a lot more sympathy. But the guy was a drug addict. Wow, this turned.
Oh yeah, the Macho Man hitting the pipe.
This got evil really quickly. I'm going to.
Yeah, I don't know that he was hitting the pipe. I shouldn't say that. But then again, this is a podcast. It's entertainment. So who really cares?
Seriously, though, who really cares? That's a good way to think about it. Well, TLC happened almost a week ago. Your thoughts? We talked about who really cares. I actually really cared about it. I was excited. I was also watching football because fantasy football playoffs. Nothing's more important than that. Yes, more important than wrestling right now because $600 is on the line. I watched it with football, and I gotta say, I liked what I saw. I did. I enjoyed a bulk of the matches. Brad changed his pants 4 times from shitting himself when thinking Corbin was going to get pinned. So he made his wife go get him pants during the show. It was quite an event. Yeah, there were more.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
There were more pants changed than his own little sons during that match, which is impressive to say the least. I
was a little relieved
in more ways than one. Well, 2, I should say. It was a great night of wrestling, and it culminated in the end. So, Brad, I mean, tell me what you thought. From top to bottom.
I like the show. Yeah, I like the show overall. I heard that the wonderful PW Torch gave the show a 2.5 out of 10.
Of course they did.
Of course they did. That's why I stopped listening to them. That's why I stopped following them on Twitter. That's why I now completely ignore them, don't listen to them, because they are the people who like the smell of their own farts in wrestling. And so I can no longer tolerate them. That being said, I liked the show overall. I thought it was good. Yeah, so obviously we had Bray Wyatt and Randy White.
Randy White?
What's his name?
Randy White?
Randy White?
Yeah.
Well, he's not white. He's very tan. Yeah. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton defeated Rhino and Heath Slater to become the new tag team champions. I thought we both predicted this. And
yeah.
I liked it, and I like what they're doing. Where Randy Orton kind of sacrifices himself, and and Bray wins. In this case, they had the setup for the RKO, which was really cool.
It was very, very cool. Kind of like the Roman Reigns spear, whatever. Wyatt kind of gave the gun motion, so it was good. It was good. The timing and chemistry was very good.
Yeah, and I really have enjoyed the team of Wyatt and Orton together more than I thought I would even. So it's definitely working with Orton in the Wyatt family. And now
When
they've implemented the Freebird rule. So now Luke Harper is also a tag team champion.
I wonder when Orton leaves, because that's Vince's MO. He's like, "Whoa, we got shit,
Got to
damn.
turn him.
Well, no, it's like, well, we gotta. Well, I got him thinking. We don't know what could happen. It's our own show. I don't know what happens until it's over. So, like, it's that kind of mentality of you have a story that goes on for so long, and when does it end? I think he's too in. He'll take a storyline a year and drag it out so much till it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, I think speaking of teams ending, I think that's what we're going to see with Rhino and Heath Slater. And maybe we'll get into that more later. But I'm talking Smack. They teased the breakup.
They did.
So, yeah, they did. So, yeah, it was good for what it was. And we've got new tag team champions. I think that's exactly what we needed at this point. So I was very happy with the decision.
They were
all good there.
Yeah. They were hot at first, and now they're not. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
But at least they didn't overstay their welcome like the New Day.
Exactly right. Great point. Nikki Bella defeating Carmella. I heard a lot of people on social media crap on this match, and I didn't think it was crap at all. I liked the match. I was looking forward to it. You know, the story in general I thought was good. I thought Carmella should have gone over. I did disagree with the decision.
Me too.
I don't think it's the end of the world that Nikki wins, but I thought Carmella should win. They had I thought, a couple of brutal spots. I thought it went really well.
The ending was a little
overall, I mean,
passé.
Yeah, it was a little passé. It was a little kind of it was like, okay, yeah. Now she just does the fire extinguisher, then just picks her up, hits her with the TKO she does.
Yeah,
for the win. So it was kind of like, yeah. But then Carmella cuts the promo saying, "Oh, it was your girl on Total Divas, Natalya, that attacked you, not me." Not anybody else. It was Natalya.
Triple threat, maybe, between the three of them?
I don't know. The Carmella and Nikki thing just continues to escalate. Now, this is a feud where if it continues to escalate, then you could see the need for a women's Hell in a Cell match.
Sure.
Story where it could lead in that direction, not just because they have the pay-per-view for it. But overall, yeah, I liked it. I'm interested to see where they're going to go. And look, Mickie James has signed on with WWE, and the rumor is she's coming to SmackDown in 2017, possibly January. So maybe it was Mickie James. Let me float this idea. It wasn't Natalya. It was Mickie James returning, and she is the one that attacked Nikki Bella.
But here's the thing. How can they make that happen? Mickie will never be a heel right now.
I don't know. She was a heel against Trish Stratus when she was the single white female character. She could be that sort of stalker, kind of a retake on the angle she had with Trish Stratus coming into the company. That could work.
I don't mean that, though. She's going to return, and it's going to be, like, very cool. How is she going to pass off as a heel like that? I don't see it.
I don't know. It would be something different, though. That would be unexpected, and I think her and Nikki could have some real good matches. I mean, it could be Natalya, and that would just be kind of okay, whatever. But I would book it to be Mickie James.
We'll find out. That wouldn't be bad. I'm sure Dean would love that because he's a huge Mickie James mark. And you know what? He's even soured on Sasha Banks, but we'll talk about that later. That'd be okay. I would not mind it at all. I would just like to see them try to how should I say this? Include more than one and then two women like Raw does, because it's Sasha and Charlotte and everybody else. But on SmackDown, there's 4 viable females that can wrestle, and that are 5 actually that are put on a pedestal above everybody else. And the only one that they don't use is Eva Marie, right? Do they use everybody? Naomi's another one, but that's really it. And she'll pop on. I guess she's hurt. So
yeah, she's out with an ankle injury.
Yeah.
So is AJ Styles, and so is her husband, the Uso. He's out with an ankle injury as well.
Is it Jay? It's Jay, isn't it? No, it's Jimmy.
I think.
Well, they look they look the same. Whatever. So okay, moving on to your favorite match of the night: Baron Corbin versus the little guy.
The little midget Kalisto. Yeah, the mosquito Kalisto. I was, I would not have booked this match to be so competitive at all. I don't find it realistic. I'll say this for a competitive, I think like 13-minute match. I thought this was very good.
Yeah, it really was.
I think Kalisto can work well with the big guys. I'll say that, even though I do think he should be a cruiserweight. But
of course he should.
I mean, there's no universe, including the WWE universe, where you can convince me that this would be a competitive match. Okay, it's just not possible. But they have a competitive match. It was a very good match. They got pretty creative with the chairs, and then I loved the ending sequences. Some of the stuff they did at Corbin with the deep six was really good on the floor at ringside. That was awesome, where he just kind of caught him in midair and spun him around in the deep six.
Absolutely.
Very cool stuff. Yep. The end of days was really good on the pile of chairs. I thought the match was really good. I thought it should not have been competitive, but if it was going to be competitive, it was a great match.
It really was. I like the fact that, and I thought it was obvious, and no, I'm not biased like Brad is. Baron carried that match.
He can work. I mean, he really is an improving, pretty good, legitimately big man worker, and people are starting to come around. And I think this was a good showcase for people to see that.
I think he's like the female version, or the male version of Carmella. And when I say that is, whenever they first started, it was very rocky. But now, I mean, look at what's happening. Oh,
I think Carmella's doing great right now. She's
she really is.
Greatly. Yeah.
And Corbin can really go, and good for him. That's really good for him.
Well, yeah, he can definitely go. And I mean, as we've seen, he was on ESPN this past week on their Off the Top Rope segment, and he did a really good job there. I checked that out, of course. And
how did he do? How'd he do?
No, he did really well, man. He did well. He's actually a good talker, and I thought he did well with the interview stuff. And he also still has that kind of very natural, in your face confidence. And that is definitely, he is his character is an extension of his personality. And I think that's part of the reason his character is so good. And it works so well. So I thought it was very good. And the talking smack stuff he's done is very good. They have something there. I mean, they never would have put a guy who's been in the main roster 8 months into that situation on ESPN if they didn't think they could trust him. I mean, nobody else in that main roster with his level of experience is going on that segment on ESPN.
No, you're right.
So they obviously have confidence in him. They're booking him strong. They once again refer to him as a future world champion, and I'm being told he's going to be in the main event title picture. Team, we'll see.
Come mid 2017 when Undertaker and Cena aren't. Sorry. Am I wrong though? As soon as they're out, he'll get in.
He maybe. Well, I would have him beat either one of them.
No.
Yeah,
you would. I don't think Vince would. I don't think you guys can agree on that. Sorry. I wish it were simpler. Oh well. What can you do? So that again, we had Miz and Ambrose. Well, sorta. We had Miz and Ziggler, who did very well. Miz cheated. Ziggler lost. Vince hates him, but what can you do?
There was some outstanding selling by the Miz in this match.
Yeah, for sure.
And Ziggler does good selling, maybe overselling at times, but the Miz was great. The leg work, he was great, and he actually shouted "motherfucker."
He's like mother.
He really sold it.
Well, I think he was actually hurt. Like he was in pain.
Well, I'm sure it didn't tickle, but it's these two have just been okay. I'll say it. I was kind of, I was on the fence and kind of teetering. These two have been the feud of the year in professional wrestling in 2016.
Wait, that's no, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's Young Bucks and everybody else. No, that's not true.
That's right. It's the Briscoes and the Young Bucks in front of 50 fans. I forgot.
No,
Because they do a lot of
it's New Japan. It's Suzuki versus Toyota. It was fantastic. 5 stars every time.
and their new Monster Bullet Club member Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, feud of the year. It didn't even start yet. Feud of the year. Yes. Miz and Ambrose 2 stars. Miz and Ziggler 1 star.
Yeah, well, every match that the Miz is in is a 1-star match because he is a star. He is a star, a big, bright, shining star. Great match, and frankly, they didn't need the lighter stipulation to have a great match, but they did. And the Miz wins, which I thought was the right move. And he did a lot of stuff kind of teasing the Daniel Bryan feud. He dedicated his victory after the match to Daniel Bryan. And I have to say,
changing your mind?
I just don't know, because they're now doing this to the point where they're 100% has to be a WrestleMania payoff.
Easy.
I don't know if it's the Miz and Daniel Bryan wrestling at this point, or if it's the Miz and Daniel Bryan's designee, like a Shinsuke Nakamura or somebody, coming up and wrestling the Miz on his behalf.
Or, okay.
I don't know. Now, this is leading somewhere big.
The Ty Dillinger bullshit on Twitter, one of my best friends, Jordan, said, it's happening, Dillinger Bryan. I said, listen, Vince McMahon would never let Ty Dillinger on WrestleMania if it took him 10 years in developmental to finally get a push in a brand they created a year ago. It's never going to happen. It would not happen. No. They wouldn't know. It'd be a waste of their time. Ty Dillinger does not sell tickets. I don't care what you say. He sells NXT tickets, but there's only 200 of them, not 100,000. And I love Ty Dillinger. He's one of my favorite wrestlers right now. But he does not generate money for me. If I'm a promoter, I don't come to Dillinger to promote my biggest show of the year. I'm sorry, I don't.
No, that's definitely not the match they're promoting here.
No.
I mean, that would just be a flop. So, yeah, I mean, I'm very much looking forward to where this is going. The Miz is having an absolute breakout year, the best of his career. I'm very excited. He's one of my absolute favorite active wrestlers right now. He's on the short list of that. Probably right behind, Dean and Corbin for me. I mean, his stuff is so good.
What about
all
Samoa
around,
Joe?
Total package.
Samoa Joe coming up as a babyface to take out Miz at Mania.
Nah, I'm not feeling that. I just don't feel that Samoa Joe's on the Miz's level.
I disagree with you there. I could see Samoa Joe doing very well.
I don't think so. I just think he's a mid-card guy. Maybe upper mid-card at most. I just don't see that kind of
Miz is mid-card.
Miz just main evented the last SmackDown about shortly. So I don't think he's necessarily mid-card. He's maybe, you could argue, upper mid-card, sure. But he's really in the top few guys on the roster. Samoa Joe isn't that guy to me.
Well, we'll find out for sure. We had the women's match. Becky lost. It was a hell of a match. I love Alexa Bliss. She's great. So I'm not mad about it at all. They're going to have another rematch. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic because they both can go. I love Alexa's character, her demeanor, her personality. It's great. So that's going to be good to see. And I wonder when the rematch will be. Maybe Royal Rumble. They'll have a payoff. We'll find out.
Yeah, I think it was the right time to drop the title, probably.
Yeah.
Good old boring Becky.
You're wrong.
I can never resist busting your balls about Becky Lynch. I don't know why. But no, it was fine, and I really do like the Alexa character. Some criticism from again on social media from some of the fans. Oh, she's not believable because she's too small, or she couldn't keep up with Becky in that match because she's not a good enough wrestler. Blah blah blah. So those are the people you just tune out because they think wrestling is all about work rate. And then those are the same people that complain that Baron Corbin is winning because he's tall.
Yeah.
Fucking morons. Okay, so yeah, that was fine. That match was fine.
Thank you.
And it'll be interesting to see where it goes with Alexa Bliss as a solid heel champion that can frankly cut promos and has a character. So, yeah, then we have the main event. This was
Awesome.
outstanding. The match of the night for me. Dean Ambrose, it was the ladder match. That was great. But this match was just a level above great. It was phenomenal. No pun intended. AJ Styles defeating Dean Ambrose because of that goddamn James Ellsworth.
I was a fan of it. I liked it. Ellsworth made me hate him, and he did his job. It's a work. It always is a work. So they did the job, and I'm admitting defeat. Ellsworth did his part and did it very well.
You may remember on our preview podcast before the pay-per-view that I predicted Ellsworth would interfere and cost Dean the match.
It wasn't surprising at all.
You know, I guess probably what was more surprising was the explanation afterwards. We would find out was not that he thinks he's a heel, but he thinks, well, it's AJ, so if AJ loses, I lose the title match, and I've beaten AJ 3 times, so I can beat him for the title, no problem. So I need him to remain champion. A very interesting explanation, which will, I guess, eventually lead to maybe an interesting match. But I don't know with AJ's injury how they'll play that out. But I thought the match was excellent. It was just physical as hell. They gave them like 25 or 30 minutes. It was really it was unbelievable. AJ is
that 450 springboard onto a table. Move of the year by far.
I mean, I can honestly say, and I never thought I would say this, but I am sure of it now, that AJ Styles is this generation's Shawn Michaels worker in ring.
That's a Jim Ross said on his blog. And he's not a Mick Foley corporate stooge.
Yeah, did he really?
Yes, he actually did. He said
that's interesting. Yeah,
he's the second coming of Shawn Michaels. Yeah,
I think he's the best in-ring worker in the world right now, and I think he is this generation Shawn Michaels. Goes. So I can't really even say enough about it. So I won't try, but phenomenal match. These two, this and Dean. And that's not to take anything away from Dean, who I thought had absolutely one of the best, if not the best, matches of his career. It was just outstanding stuff from both guys. And, you know, he was so damn close to winning until that goddamn Ellsworth fucked it up. That bastard. Anyway, we knew something like that was going to happen. So it was a great main event and an overall good show.
It was. Now on to a terrible show.
Monday Night Raw, which, you know, I think a few people still think is good. I mean, there's weeks, I guess, where it's fine, you know, but good is maybe an overstatement.
So let's just talk about the highlights real quick. Enzo and Lana and Rusev and Big Cass is the only storyline I care about. And it's written really back-asswards like, but it's still entertaining. And that's all I care about. That's the only feud. I don't care about anything else on that show.
I was going to hate this segment if it turned out to be another. They have to be careful with Lana, the way they've portrayed her. You know, like they had didn't they have the Dolph thing?
Yeah,
and they had the Rock thing where he made jokes about screwing her, and they have to be really careful about continuing to do that stuff with her character. But the reason I liked it was the payoff at the end where Rusev, it was a setup, right? And I think if that was not the intent, if the intent was really to create a love triangle, I think that would have been terrible. So
no, it would have been by far.
So I like that. That was probably the most entertaining part of the show, along with, of course, anything Chris Jericho does is entertaining. But what did you think about the Big Show making his massive return? Just kidding. Losing to Seth Rollins after he counts himself out and just leaves.
I don't care. I was watching.
I mean, have you figured out the point of this yet?
No. Where's Triple H? Why hasn't he explained that he screwed him out of the title yet? It's been like 5 months.
Well, that was the funny part is Rollins opens Raw and immediately calls out Triple H. Like, okay, 5 months later, now all of a sudden he's got a problem with Triple H. What the hell? We're gonna have a match. We gotta settle this right now. It's only 5 months later and nobody's talked about it because it didn't happen.
Well, because
but now it did happen.
Yeah, because that's the WrestleMania match. Triple H and Seth, and Triple H thinks that's what'll get Seth over if he faces Triple H and loses.
Oh yeah,
and puts him
over.
Damn,
what a push, kid! I'll put you the pedigree and I'll pin you and you'll go over so fucking huge.
Yeah,
just like Sting.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't about the winner of the match. It was about the story. Okay.
Oh, but I'll tell you, I was really impressed with Jack Gallagher.
Gallagher. I fast forwarded it. Was it good?
I found him to be entertaining for a cruiserweight, especially. I mean, I've been seeing some very generic stuff. I think T.J. Perkins stands out. He's not so generic, and I think that the gentleman Jack Gallagher also is another guy who seemed like a white meat baby face that stood out, was a little unique.
Are you just saying that because he's white?
Like no, although he is very white. He's like Sheamus white.
Yeah, those two are if they had a feud, you could position it as like Hellman's versus Miracle Whip Mayonnaise and see who wins. What? Nothing for that? I thought that was pretty creative. While you were looking, because you said work rate, and that got my brain jogging. There's a mini clip from John Cena back in 2011. Where he addresses work rate, and this is for all you idiots out there, all of you. I'm looking at you. That work rate doesn't mean dick. Okay, just listen up.
Yeah.
And you, of course, you have your fans, and I know no matter what I do, I could increase my work rate. I could add to the 5 moves of doom, or maybe let my heel persona shine through.
And while he was talking to my second favorite wrestler of all time, how many main events has CM Punk been in? I gotta be straight. So how much millions has, and Punk's drawn off a fuck ton. That's not to say that he hasn't or won't or will ever again, maybe. But Cena's the biggest guy since sliced bread. So when people will say, "Oh, it's work rates, everything," you're all wrong. All of you are wrong. If you
absolutely,
if you can push ticket sales and sell T-shirts and get a reaction, sorry, Roman Reigns has done more than Seth Rollins. And I hate to say this, Dean Ambrose, and possibly anybody else in the past 3 years, because of the reaction that he gets, the T-shirts he sells. And while, yes, that booking has something to do with it, I'm not going to discredit that. And I'm covering my own ass here. There's a reason why. And that's why guys like Miz and Dean now, and AJ, Roman, and Jericho, like those guys are going to be over. And people like Owens and Rollins, like, sorry, it's not happening right now. And that's kind of like the theme of Raw.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Owens is just a complete bore. Jericho totally outshines him. And although I do think their feud would be good. I mean, but, it's just not even close. And Seth Rollins is so fucking boring to me. I think he's just been a total flop. He's in a lull just like he was when he was champion, and everybody thought it was boring then. And he didn't draw. And we're just like basically right at the same place. It's just not. It's just not working that well as people thought he was going to be the next coming of whatever, and it's just not the case at all. I think he's really kind of reached his potential.
Yeah, and it's funny because when Seth came back, he was hot. Huge baby face. And then he tried to turn heel again. Like
Yeah.
Vince's timing is gone. He does not have that timing magic anymore. He times it wrong more than he does right.
Yeah. Rich Swann's another one who's entertaining, got charisma for a cruiserweight. I did enjoy the match he had with TJ Perkins. So that was worth watching.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. I fast forwarded
Bailey,
again.
yeah. He won a match. It was quick. It was whatever. She beat Alicia Fox. She needed a win though, so that was fine. Mark Henry. I told you they were having a feud, did I not?
Yeah, you
Mark
did.
Henry and Titus O'Neil.
I
said just watch.
the
They'll have a
fuck
match
out
on
of it.
Raw. They even labeled it the Tussle in Texas.
I fast forwarded the fuck out of that match.
I couldn't believe it. This was an immediate win for Mark Henry, and I do mean literally an immediate win for Mark Henry.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
The match lasted like 15 seconds. He scored the win of the World's Strongest Slam. It was a total squash, and the Titus brand is a total squash.
Oh, good. Okay, now on to the. Do we have to talk about Charlotte and Flair and Sasha? I think it's boring as fuck. And now the final chapter is turned into an Iron Man match. I'm going to be in attendance for it. Whatever.
I feel bad for you.
But it's one of the greatest feuds of all time, right? Best ever.
The fact that people can even with a straight face say that is absolutely baffling to me. It makes me think maybe they just started watching wrestling because that's the only way I could think that if they've been watching wrestling for a long time that they could actually think that's one of the greatest feuds of all time, or even some think the greatest of all time. I mean, that is just it's not even, they're not even in the top 100 of all time. I mean, that's not even close.
You're right. And not only that, though, Trish and Lita were better. Trish and Mickie James was better. AJ Lee and everybody else was even better.
Yeah, it's just, totally baffling to me. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I have to be honest. I think it's a huge mistake. I think it's a huge mistake for them to continue to be the main event. The word I got from people in attendance was thousands of people were leaving before this segment started.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
In attendance, the people just started leaving. That's what you call a clue.
Well,
and the writer in charge who was pushing this stuff has now been let go.
I wonder why.
So it's not working. It's just Let me just be honest with you here. WWE fans and just wrestling fans in general. Not the small niche market of hardcore wrestling fans, but wrestling fans in general don't want to see women get too much time, and they don't want to see them in the main event. Okay? And that's just a reality. It doesn't mean I feel that way, although I do tend to feel that way. It doesn't mean you feel that way. It just means that is a reality to know. Okay? And so doing that, pushing this in your face, making it the main event is a mistake. Now, Charlotte did the taunting of Rick stuff, and I thought that was good.
It was good.
Real strong heel potential, and for that's great. I just don't think it's a main event. Period. End of story. It's not changing. I think the men are a main event. Period. End of story. And I love women. I am not a misogynist.
Me neither.
That's simply my opinion.
And I like women's wrestling, but it's not that good. I'm sorry. It just isn't. I'm sick of it. I'm totally sick of it. Oh, well, so that was Raw. In a nutshell, it was very average at best. And it's just my opinion. Deal with it. Deal with my opinion, everybody. Deal with it.
You have to deal with it. It's true, because it's not changing. SmackDown was next. SmackDown was next.
And I enjoyed SmackDown quite a bit.
Yeah, I enjoyed SmackDown as well, as I usually do enjoy that more than Raw. AJ Styles came out. Yeah, he's cutting a promo about beating Dean. James Ellsworth comes out and accuses AJ of wearing the cast on his foot to get out of his title defense against him. Because he's already beat him 3 times, of course, And Ellsworth is the reason he won on Sunday at TLC.
course.
And so, yeah, Ambrose comes out. Mean Dean Ambrose, the cool, collected, calculating Dean that I like to see. He came out, he hit Dirty Deeds in Ellsworth, and he turns around and he leaves.
Awesome.
That was perfect. That's the Dean I like to see. The wacky, goofy Uncle Dean is not what is going to work with him. It's very obvious.
I mean, say,
it's
though,
fine for what it is, but it's not going to be superstar material.
I will say, though, Dean, when he was doing the Mountie and like that episode, he was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
But
he can do. That's the thing. He's so versatile. He can pull it off. He can do it all well. But if you actually want this guy to sell tickets and be a superstar, a main event material, and be the Dean he can be, not wacky, goofy Uncle Dean.
yeah, no. Can't do it. No chance. No chance.
Yeah, so then we had the old, well, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to agree with you even more to make all the marks mad. Go ahead.
Good. I like that. Yeah, we had the old pay-per-view rematch. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton once again defeating Rhino and Heath Slater. And yeah, Wyatt's about to go for Sister Abigail. Instead, he tags in Orton.
Love it.
Hands Slater to Orton. Boom. RKO covers for the victory. They retain. And of course, later on Talking Smack, they would tease the breakup with Slater and Rhino. It looks like with Rhino going heel. So we have Carmella out next with a promo on Nikki Bella and Natalya. So this could be leading to a three-way, like you said, John.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. She cuts a promo and then has a match with Natalya. It's a no contest. And it just turns into basically a brawl with Natalya and Carmella. And Natalya chases Carmella backstage where she runs into Nikki Bella. Natalya tells Nikki she can't believe what Carmella says about Natalya being the one who attacked her. And Nikki walks away. We'll see where that goes.
Hey, for everyone out there, just a friendly lesson from Uncle John. There's no eye contact in a Devil's Three-Way. I had to put that out there. Just saying.
And you can't let the balls touch.
What? I was talking about something completely different, but carry on.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where you're going with that.
The Hype Bros.
Jeez Louise.
The Hype Bros. This is the late edition of the podcast. I mean, this is a Saturday. There's no rules on Saturday podcast.
So you talk about balls touching and then the Hype Bros. You like euphemisms through the wazoo, okay? Why you could have had a much better segue in my opinion, but carry on.
Well, they're hyped because they got to face the Ascension, who never win.
Nope.
And that's what happened here. Bada bing, bada boom. The Hype Bros hit the Hype Rider on Victor for the win.
Yay.
Although I will say that Connor had a very creepy makeup job. It actually looked really good.
It did.
Yeah, so they've got the look. They've got that look going. They just need a win. Bros, it's like,
Who
they
cares?
can lose. Who cares? But yeah, so that was fine for what it was. And then we had Miz TV, where the guest was Dean Ambrose.
Awesome segment.
Ambrose, I thought in Miz did really well here. And obviously, I thought probably the best part was the participation trophy.
Oh, that was fit.
And the crowd chanting, "You deserve it." That was just fucking phenomenal.
I loved it.
That was great. And they're going to go at it when Daniel Bryan comes out, adding to the drama, and says the main event will be Dean and Miz with the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Stuff there with the Miz and Dean. And next we had another pay-per-view rematch. Baron Corbin defeating Kalisto.
Again.
And this was a shorter match. This was more of what it should have been. It's still maybe too long.
But either way, at least they got the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. Corbin hit a really cool end of days here with the opposite side of his body when he was reversing a Hurricane Rana. Very cool. So another good match these two they had. And yeah, they put Baron Corbin over big again, and he won. And that was that.
Against the little guy.
Against the little guy, yeah. American Alpha We had Chad Gable defeat Tyler Breeze.
Loved it.
And, giving the American Alpha some momentum. They need it. And so that was the right thing to do. Alexa Bliss out for a championship celebration. Becky Lynch comes out to interrupt. And, she wants to fight her. But Alexa rolls out of the ring and says, I don't think so. Now, they've got to have a rematch.
Easily.
I don't know when.
I'd say
Maybe it is Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, I would love for that to happen. I think it would make the most sense.
Yeah.
At least to me.
So that'll continue.
But they can't wait too long. That's my only thing I wanted to add in there. They cannot wait too long to do it.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah. No, I agree. So then we had The Miz versus Dean Ambrose. It was the main event of the show. These two, I really like both these guys, obviously, as you know. The Intercontinental title stipulation, that whole thing, I'm not really thrilled. I'll talk about it later. But basically, we had that goddamn James Ellsworth come down.
Again.
He cost Dean Ambrose the match. And Miz pins Dean Ambrose clean to retain his Intercontinental Championship. Miz wins in the main event of SmackDown, goes over Dean Ambrose. This is a big win for Miz. A step back for Dean Ambrose, in my opinion, maybe, because he is going to be in an Intercontinental title feud, it looks like, with The Miz.
That's good.
And I feel like a guy who's... Well, not for Dean, because he's like basically the Intercontinental title is below him, in my opinion.
Well,
and I don't want him to... Well, I don't want him to hold it because The Miz is making something of the title, and it's built The Miz up so well so that he can get to that next level. I think it's the wrong time to have these guys facing each other. I really do. It's a step down for Dean. It's a step up probably for Miz. I feel like there's not really going to be a winner of momentum here in the end because I don't want Dean to have the Intercontinental title. I feel like that's a step below him.
Don't worry.
I don't want Miz to lose it because it's working. It's working well with The Miz.
It is.
So, I'm not overly fond of him in the Intercontinental title picture at all. But I like both these guys a lot, and they did well. So
I have faith.
Maybe Dean will be in a feud with James Ellsworth.
Oh, I'm kidding.
He's over.
That'd be awful. Just keep your chin up, as people say.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be fine. Give it some time. Give us some time.
Someone said, "Oh yeah, you got James Ellsworth on the show, and he's a jobber." I said, "Look, I think it was the Disco Inferno. Look, you may think he should be a jobber, and I would agree, but I would argue he's not a jobber. He's actually in the main event picture. And what is his win-loss record?
Undefeated.
The guy is actually being presented like a main event talent more than he is a jobber.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
So
they give him like a more legitimate Hornswoggle.
Yeah. That's a good point. He was the SmackDown mascot, right?
He was, yes.
For the Survivor Series.
Yes. So,
yeah,
again, SmackDown can do it right. Just give us some time and have some faith. And I think that's all that we can do as a group that loves wrestling. So, speaking of somebody else that loves wrestling, Dean I and Peter. Now, again, I want to say before we go any further that these are pre-recorded. He sent this to me Wednesday night, and I have not listened to it. Neither has Brad. So if Dean has said something that Brad said almost exactly in this, it was not planned. I swear to God. So, without further, but he did tell me that he has something for you in the beginning, but that was planned on his end. He told me this yesterday. So, without further ado, the list of Dean drinking in all of you.
Welcome.
Nope, really? We're gonna do that? We're gonna do that? Okay. Well, we're gonna hear Dean say welcome again. Okay. That was weird. iPad, work.
Welcome to the list, Brad Fisher. You are not on the list.
Yeah.
Brad, I'm finally in your corner. No, not on Hulkamania. Baron Corbin. I want to see Baron Corbin be a SmackDown World Champion.
Yes.
To the list. Fire extinguisher. You just made the list. Oh my God. Carmella sold that fire extinguisher like it was spewing out hot lava that would singe her skin if it touched her. That was the worst thing to try to sell and consequently sell job that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And that's what beats Carmella?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You couldn't have done better than that?
No.
Oh, and let's talk about the whole Carmella Natalia reveal thing. Why did she reveal it then? And the announcers, you just made the list. Oh, it couldn't have been Natalia. Are you friggin' stupid? Of course it could have been Natalia. She's a heel. She was left off the team. Use your friggin' brain. Don't insult her intelligence. Jeez. And this whole thing now that they're extending out, well, it's Natalia. No, it's not Natalia. Oh, wow. And Carmella's coming out as almost the face in this whole thing because she's like, I'm not freaking lying. If I attack you, I'm saying I'm going to attack you. Heels doing what they say they're going to do. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about Talking Smack briefly. Let's start with after TLC. Alexa Bliss, you just made the list.
Oh, stop it.
You cannot go from tearful, open, real, crying, my parents were in the audience and this is the greatest moment of my life, to flip a switch to be in the heel on Becky Lynch. Pick one, pick the other. What does Talking Smack want to be? Does it want to be real? Does it want to be kayfabe? I understand there's going to be balance of interactions, but that one was way too hard of a shift, and it got you a spot on the list.
You're correct.
And then Tuesday night, we open up with the Wyatts at the desk. Okay, this is the news producer and me coming out.
Yep.
There's an hour between the end of SmackDown and, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever the hell it was, between the end of SmackDown and the start of Talking Smack. In that period of time, are you telling me that they couldn't have, like, Renee Young and Daniel Bryan wouldn't have been sitting there already? What did the Wyatts come in and say, no, let us do our creepy thing first? And they sold it like, wow, what just happened? What just happened? What just happened is you were 5 minutes late for your own damn show and you just made the list. That's what happened. You start the show, then you have a thing, and then the Wyatts appear and they cut a promo. Okay, that's how you do it. That's how you produce it. The producers of Talking Smack, you just made the list. And finally, the announcers on Raw, you just made the list again.
Oh,
Michael Cole might have a permanent spot. The New Day blatantly runs into the match and causes a disqualification. They've had this subtle change of attitude. Maybe it's just to hang on to their titles to get the record, but it's been there. It's been part of the story. Why isn't it being alluded to or talked about or shown? The New Day's run is coming to an end very soon at the hands of one of these teams. But the announcers aren't selling the show. They're too busy selling themselves to get on the list. And finally, it's not the list. I don't have the heart to put this guy on the list. And no, it's not Ellsworth. Oh. Jack Gallagher from the Cruiserweights. Dude, guys, help me out here. He seems like the love child of the Vaudevillains and Sheamus. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's the list.
Well, the guy can't help it that he's pasty white and looks like a vaudevillain.
Skin pigmentation deficient.
We're all born with different deficiencies, Dean. You just made my list.
But who would know that he would bring up Jack Gallagher? Gallagher? Who cares? Jack Gallagher, and you would bring him up too. Coincidence?
Yeah, it's very true.
I think not.
Yeah, if this was a longer show, I think I agreed with a lot of points. as usual. Yeah, it you know, it
Yeah.
was what it was.
Yeah. Keep going. You're doing well.
I think that's really it.
All right. Well, a few news notes. You're tweeting while we're doing the podcast. You son of a bitch. At least I'm looking at Twitter casually. Whatever.
Gang.
Sure you are. Yeah, some news notes. Cody Rhodes is now in the Bullet Club.
And I was just informed as we record this late edition on a Saturday that the Young Cucks were tweeting "Feed me more," and they were talking about a monster coming to New Japan, and of course, it turned out to be 6-foot-tall Cody Rhodes.
They're trolls. That's what they do. They troll hard. That's really all that they do, and they don't even do that well. Paige might have failed another drug test. John Cena is probably never going to wrestle full time again, which is inevitable. He's on SNL tonight. Watch, everybody. That'll be pretty good. I think that's it. Did I miss anything? I think that's it, huh? Oh, Mickey James. We talked about that already. Samoa Joe might come up. AJ Styles. I think he'll be healthy for the Royal Rumble, which is all that matters.
They'll probably have to put up maybe. Well, we should find out really soon as we record this. Yeah. We should find out really soon if he's going to be out for or if he'll be back on shows.
Yeah, we'll find out eventually, but hopefully he'll be okay. So, is there anything else you like? Oh, I have to ask you this first. Where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me at the VOTV podcast. Tweeting for our podcast account. If you have a good opinion, I will talk with you. If you have a bad opinion, but you are respectful, we'll even talk.
Okay.
But if you are a stupid neckbeard Twitter troll, I will block you without warning. So be prepared.
Oh. Okay. All right. I will be more than prepared. I will be prepared as fuck. And you can find me on Twitter at JohnFish Gaming, Wrestling News Hub on Facebook, JohnFish3 at Twitch.tv. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we ride off into, well, it's not really a sunset. It's more like a cloudy mist of snow flurries.
Yes, I would like to make a plea to Justin LeBar to stop reporting fake news.
Is it anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, well, for me, I think it's a matter of doing what you enjoy, living until the next day, and waiting 30 seconds for an advertisement to do a clip. And it all culminates into one simple message that I would like to pass on that I think would really resonate with anybody that likes good advice. Don't you think?
I think so.
Me too.
And you, of course, you have your fans. And I know no matter what I do, I could increase my work rate. I could add to the 5 moves of doom, or maybe let my heel persona shine through.
I will do all of that for you this week and more. We'll see you then.